Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Welcome to the Forest of Arden. This is the 16th hole, and this video we're talking about grip pressure. However, we're going to talk about it in three different areas of the golf swing. It's setup, the top of your backswing, and also at your follow through. And understanding how the grip pressure might change through the golf swing can really help you hit some better shots when you're out on the golf course. So grip pressure is one of those things that people will often ask about. It's kind of, do I hold the club too tightly? How loosely should I hold it? And they're almost trying to get a feel for how much pressure to apply through the hands. Unfortunately, the answer as to how much grip pressure you should have is not that simple, and we can't really answer that question with one sort of answer, if you like. So the grip pressure may well change during the golf swing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the starting position at setup. So when I address the golf ball, all too often I will see golfers with too much grip pressure. And very often you can see this manifest itself through a lot of tension through the arms, a lot of tension through the shoulders, and very often we see the golf club head being very static. So to ensure you've got good grip pressure at the setup and it's nice and light, it's really key that we introduce a nice waggle to your setup where we're just keeping the club head moving. And if we've got the weight of the club head in our hands as opposed to letting it rest on the ground, we're often going to find our grip pressure gets much lighter. So for the majority of golfers that I coach, at setup, a lighter grip pressure would help them. It's often going to help them set the wrist a little bit better in the backswing. It's often going to help you move the club away a little bit smoother from the golf ball. So just introducing a waggle and ensuring that golf club is hardly ever still at setup is definitely going to help you. Now we're talking about top of the golf swing. Now, top of the golf swing, the most common fault I see is one where the grip pressure isn't tight enough. And when we see the grip pressure not tight enough, we can often lose a bit of pressure between the golf club and the pad of the hand. So if I start to release the pressure, you'll start to see how the grip starts to move away from the pad of my hand, and I often lose control of the club head. I often add length to the golf swing which doesn't need to be there, and that can add inconsistencies. So as I make my golf swing and I go from setup to the backswing, I'm probably going to need to feel like I increase the pressure a little bit to keep control of the golf club. So a fantastic way of you working on this is just to simply place a T-peg between the pad of the hand and the grip, so right on top of the handle. Now as I take my setup, I can feel like I've got a nice loose grip pressure where I've not any tension, but as I get to the top, I've got to feel like I keep that T-peg in place. You'll notice that if I release tension too much, the T-peg will fall to the floor, and that gives me a great indication that I didn't have enough pressure between those last three fingers on my top hand, which in my case is my glove hand. So all too often I'll see golfers where they get to the top, the pressure releases, the club goes too far, and they find it very difficult to then coordinate the the downswing, sync it up and control the club face. Now the third thing we said we'd talk about is the follow through. So again, I would almost tend to see the follow through where there is almost too much tension and the golfer doesn't feel, or that doesn't allow that club to really fall behind their head. And again, I would almost like a golfer to feel very much more relaxed at this point. All too often I'm seeing golfers going through, but the arms and the wrists are very stiff, and it doesn't look as if they make a complete follow through. Certainly when you're hitting iron shots, we don't necessarily need the golf club to be wrapped right around the back of your neck, but we'd like that grip pressure to be nice and light. Again, we can use that T-peg to help us. We would like the T-peg at the end to drop. So we're going to go T-peg in the grip, couple of waggles to keep the pressure nice and light. Feel we keep the T-peg in the backswing. That's going to keep the hold on the golf club nice and stable. But as I go through to my finish position, absolutely fine to let that T-peg drop as I release a little bit of pressure. That's going to keep my arms nice and soft. That's going to keep the pressure nice and soft in the hands. And that ultimately is going to help you add some speed to the golf club where it's needed, which is down by the impact area. So I would get you to actually make some practice swings in that way. T-peg on the grip, keep the club moving at setup, control the backswing, swing through, relax in the arms, T-peg will fall to the floor. So hopefully you can see there that, when somebody says, what should my grip pressure be? Unfortunately, the answer isn't as simple as it should be very loose, it should be very tight. It might change through the golf swing. And if we do that incorrectly, you're going to see some very different looks. So if I'm very stiff at the start, club doesn't move, then I get a lot of loss of pressure here, club gets long, too much pressure, I get that funny look at the end of my golf swing where it doesn't look particularly relaxed, and that's something that I do see quite commonly. Right, let's see if we can put those things into practice and hit this shot into this green. Obviously a little bit of water short, so pretty key that I hit a good shot here. So I've got a 9 iron, I'm 150 yards away. Let's see if I can demonstrate what I've been talking about. Okay, it's probably a little right of the flag, but it should be in the middle of the green. And at least I'm putting from there. Okay, so grip pressure, quite an important part of the golf swing. It can really help you control the club face a little bit better, get some little bit more speed down the impact area. And if we can do those things, we're hopefully going to get you hitting some better shots out on the golf course. Thank you very much for watching that video. Hopefully it's helpful to you. If it is, click that like button, that does help me. There's a comments box down there as well, so any comments you've got, drop those in there. I'll do my best to answer them. And last thing, if you're not a subscriber, I would urge you to do so. It's absolutely free. There is a link in the description box down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.